Okay, so I'm gonna read your comment from my phone here. So Boo Crazy says, "Oh yeah, it's definitely the Indian slash Arabic communities that get all the hate here. I just had a woman try to justify saying that we should have quote race-based immigration limits on the fact that her husband was black, so she can't be racist. Lady, you're literally singling out one race, and we know which one. So why did we name the the people she was talking about's race?" Her husband's race and then not her race. I'm assuming she's white, but I don't know. That's just my guess, but who knows. I will say this. I don't often speak up for the Indian slash Arab community in Canada. I think that, I don't want to overstep. I know that, they have their own thing going on. And to be honest with you, they can dish it as much as they get it sometimes. I grew up in Brampton, and when they congregate in their numbers, sometimes they can definitely say and do some things that are not so great to other communities as well. I will say that yes, I will 100% agree. You can go on Reddit and you can see endless discussions of people talking about the Indian people in Canada, how they are seen, how they are perceived, how they are treated. And yeah, it's really rough. It's rough out there for them. I think what is a challenge sometimes is that when Pierre Elliott Trudeau came forward and said that we are a multicultural country and welcoming everybody and we're a mosaic, we're not going to be a melting pot, there were people who took that very literally and said, okay, I'm going to move here and I'm going to live here for an economically better life. And that's what a lot of people did. And a lot of people came and established their own communities and built from the rich culture that they already had a life for them here in Canada. And meanwhile, there are other people who see that and they say, well, either they think, well, that's not the kind of Canadian I wanted here. And I think, well, you're not the one writing the rules. And, that's kind of racist. And if you only want to see a certain kind of people here, there are plenty of enclaves here that you can move to and live in and never see anybody outside of that community. So if you're that desperate to only see a certain kind of people, you can find them and you can go live among them, right? But ideally, the goal is when you have people from different communities and different places that we're all going to be exchanging a little bit. We're all going to be getting to know each other a little bit. We're all going to be getting a bit more of a bond with each other. Like I'm always hoping that if we had a 9/11 moment here in Canada, that people would think to themselves, we're a community. We're here for each other. We'll care for each other. And sometimes I'm not sure we quite have that. Race-based immigration limits, for the record, because I know since I didn't specifically address it, people might think I agree. I don't. Obviously, my parents are immigrants. For me to sit here and say that I don't want any more immigration, I think is nuts. But I would say I don't think that there should be race-based immigration. I think, and I don't think you think that either. I think that, we should all have people welcome from different corners of the world. I think what's more important to have in common is a common ideology. And what I mean is that we should have some basic tenets that we can all agree on, like community, like the fact that we are all going to care for each other and look out for each other in our own ways, the fact that we all want to come and we all want to work hard, the fact that we all want to support the social structure that we already have here, and the fact that we're all here to celebrate the fact that we are Canadian and that we are pushing towards a better Canadian future. So, yeah. I will say that I have seen from what the Indian and Arab communities go through in Canada, it's not great. And I would say that the Indigenous definitely get it the worst of all of Canada, and that's not cool either. So, yeah, we have a lot to face. We have a lot to discuss, and we have a lot to work on. So it's not perfect here. We definitely have our issues, but I still don't think there's a better country to go to at this time. Yeah.